What is up, YouTube? It's OP Koa here, coming at you with some Marco gameplay. I've been very excited testing out this deck with the new structured deck support. Really, the main card we're taking from that is the New Gate, but it's crazy strong. So let's jump straight into some gameplay. Let's get some music going. Here we go. First game, going into a chopper. So this list, we're on Imperio Ivankov, and going first, we've got our leader ability to help us cycle, and we've got the dream play with Ivankov. So we're definitely kind of wishing we were on the even curve. We could blind Ivankov here, but honestly, he's not really putting on much pressure. Oh, and so we do blind Ivankov and we hit the Duval off the top, giving us the ability to stack our deck. We'd love to pick up another Ivankov. This card's going to be really good into aggressive matchups where it's going to allow us to cheat out an extra body, like this Pudding or Duval, and then it's going to let us refill our hand as we use it to counter out aggressively. And then yep, we've got Jet Pistol for this chopper, which is one of the cards that I am actually moving away from. I really enjoy the card and I think it helps you get to the later game. But this deck has some space issues. There's a lot of packages that you want to run and it can be very difficult. So yeah, just working on our ratios a little bit. I definitely recommend testing it out for yourself and, you know, seeing what you think. But so he's just going to continue to curve out, do his chopper thing. We're going to use Marco to reduce power and swing into this hiking bear. He uses the event to cheat out another chopper, which honestly, that chopper is extremely weak. So and then he uses a doctor. I forgot how to say his name, but it gives a buff to all of his choppers. But the thing is we're going to remove almost every chopper he puts out. And then like they come out rested, so we're going to use leader ability to reduce the cost. This is just a nightmare matchup for chopper. And then let's see. He does make a little bit of a mistake here. He should have pushed one Dawn onto the 2-cost chopper to rest it. To rest my blocker. And then he could have swung into Ivankov, which would have bought a 2k counter out of our hand. But man, our hand is loaded with the Ivankovs and 2-drops, so we should be able to combo this sooner or later, or we can just use it to counter out. Because that time has passed, we've drawn multiple cards off of this Ivankov. It's provided immense value. So, I mean, we've got the 7-drop New Gate, the new card. Obviously, it's putting in monstrous work. It's going to be borderline impossible to remove for the chopper unless he loads up all of his Dawn into a swing. Which, I mean, at that rate, he's just losing tons of tempo. So, we're not worried. Also, I have like a hair in my mouth. Okay, gross. Okay, so now he uses leader ability, loads up his Dawn, takes out the Ivankov, which honestly, if I'm him, I'm going face all day. I think we're past the point where the Ivankov is relevant. Like, he just needs to close out the game. If he's got any sort of rushers, that would be ideal. But yeah, so we take a peek. Turns out we have a Sanji on top. And then I think we kind of made a mistake if we were planning on... oh, okay, no. So we're going to Rayleigh, put the Sanji back on top, I assume. And then clear board. Using New Gate. Okay, so the board's empty, 2-2. I have 2 massive bodies. And I've got a Sanji play coming up as well, so... Okay, he floods the board. He's doing a great job of what his deck needs to do to win. And he's probably going to crash 5. That's going to buy a card from my hand. Give him the ulti. Ulti's probably better towards the end of the game because it sets up your Sanjis really well. But I mean, if he doesn't block out... Oh, yeah, those are blocker choppers, so... Yeah, we're just going to keep swinging. And then we go to a 7k leader. It's going to be impossible for him to go for game unless he's got, like, Dragon. And I have no counter, you know? Yeah, I think our opponent is trying to see what they can do. It's just, you've got to close the game out very fast as this chopper list. Let me know if you'd like to see a chopper video. I think it's going to be a difficult leader to win with, especially looking at the meta, a lot of black. Dofi is just the premier aggressive deck. Definitely going to lose that matchup, but it could be a thing. So one thing that I like to do here sometimes is just take life, because you don't need to counter out right now, and force them to go for a game. So like if he's swaying, I'm under no threat of dying. I would have enough counter to get out of everything. So it's okay to just take it and then go for game on the crackback. Just from like a strategy perspective. But yep, we're just gonna swing out and this game should be over. Boom. Okay, Chopper, very interesting. Good little showcase against an aggressive deck. I wish I recorded some of the Doflamingo matchups, because I'm sure everybody's curious about that. It's winnable, so it's very difficult. You got to curve out. You want to see your Ivankovs early. Sometimes you'll let Charlotte Pudding just sit on the board. And then we do a clever play here where we put the pudding on top and then we Duval, so that we can cheat out with Ivankov without having to use Marco ability. So just a little bit of a heads up play. And then we want to get aggressive. We want to take his life before he takes it himself. Ulti is not the most important card in this matchup. So, and we're going to find a key piece here. Probably bottom decking that new gate. You really want to just cycle through to see the cards you need. And the main card we're looking for in the 9-drop slot is going to be Sanji. And then once we find Sanji, we'll think about our other big bodies that we can drop. The power of that leader ability, just, you know, churning through our deck. We're going to get to see an extra card every turn. And then he goes Luffy Taro. Honestly, we've got a great target here with the Gungam Jet Pistol. I really love this card. I think there's a world where it stays in the deck, but I'll show you my final iteration. I do end up bottom decking the pudding because he's at 3 cards, so if he continues to play the way that he's been playing, he's gonna run out of cards. And then we're gonna get our draw with Ivankov and then take a life here. And if he does decide to go after Ivankov, that's okay. It's saving us life. We're staying very healthy. We've got a great hand size, and we've got some big bodies coming up with this new gate. And like until then, also, we've got the option, if we draw a Sanji, we've got the option to leader ability, put the Newgate on top, and then ulti to then rearrange your cards. So you can be really clever with this Marco deck, which is one reason I absolutely love it. Yeah, but anyways, back into the gameplay. He's going to focus on clearing board. It's okay for us to take a few life here. Ivankov down. We pick up another 2k counter. Okay, we might as well use it here. We've got Ivankov. We want to keep our hand size low. Okay, so looking here, we've got the ability to do our deck stacking with ulti. Okay, so we do it a little wrong here. And then I'm thinking, oh, I could use Brook, but no, we don't want to cheat out Brook. Actually move away from the Brook. Oh, picking up the 2k counter is very nice. Brook is a really cool card to play off Ivankov because you can get the 2 Dawn onto something that might want to swing. It's just that occasion is really rare. So I actually ended up switching Brook out for Jinbei. But yeah, sorry. I'm getting sidetracked on the deck because the deck construction itself is really interesting. And I'm sure the gameplay is as well, but both go hand in hand, obviously. So I don't end up stacking the deck. I think I might be bottom decking. Did I bottom deck the Edward Newgate? We'll see off the draw. But he's got a pretty big board here now. I'd love to deal with this Luffy Taro. I do at least have a blocker, as well as plenty of counter. Okay, so he ends up dropping 2 blockers. Dumps a Kaido, which is one of the cards I was scared of, so I'm glad to see that gone. It feels like a little bit of a mistake. I don't know why you would drop Kaido there. So I think I could just take 7 and then see what he does. Yeah, I think I should have taken the 7. Okay, so we hit pudding. But really right now we just want to wipe his board. And I think the best way to do that is going to be this Sanji Dragon. And we can go ahead and put the 2 Dawn onto Ivankov. And we'll be able to swing 6 multiple times into this Luffy Taro. So we should just demolish his hand. We will get this Luffy Taro off the board because Dragon will get there. And then we can use ulti to go face. Oh, actually we might end up getting his blockers here. Yeah. Which, that is honestly okay as well. Because we're not quite under threat of dying yet. We've got plenty of counter. Well, not plenty, but a lot. Yeah, so if I'm my opponent, I'm definitely thinking about swinging out into face. If he gets baited into trying to clear a board, we're just going to redevelop a board. So, oh, and look, he's got a rusher too. So if I'm him, I'm going face. Oh, mistake. Okay, so he's going to control board, which we are okay with. In fact, please swing another body into my board. Wow, 10 into 9, not a good number. We're gonna 2k out of this. He's still got 3 swings though. We will give that one. I mean, maybe it's a little safer to control board, but I just think the risk of Marco. Oh man, so we just keep seeing Newgates. we are at least going to be able to clear most of this board. Oh, why did I do that? I should have played Duval. Yeah, okay. So I ended up attaching the Tudon, which I think maybe I was just playing a little quickly. I definitely should have played the Duval, done the search, had the blocker up. That way it's like, force them to have Kaido to try and go for game. Kaido's not going to be enough either way, but actually Kaido could have got there because he goes Kaido pop, and then he ramps with leader, and then he swings 7, 8, 10, 7, 8, 10, and that would have been enough. Unless I got a 2K. If my next life was a 2K, that wouldn't have worked, but actually if either of the life was a 2K, that wouldn't have worked. No, never mind. They both would have had been 2Ks. He lets 9 into 6 go, and then we're going to play the Duval this time, which we should have done before. Bottom deck those. They're not our big drops. We don't care about them at this stage of the game. I think that's one great part about this deck is, you know, you get into the later game, you're like, where's my top end? Well, you have a lot of cards that are going to let you get there. So ulti, Duval, and leader ability. Okay, 5 into 5 is not going to do it, so we should just counter out and then worry about what he has. Okay, so he goes Luffy. I think it's pretty tempting to ramp there, but he should have done that before. I mean, I think he basically just gave up. Dropping Luffy is definitely a losing play. We take that. Our first life was a 2K counter, so that play would have lost him the game. But yeah, we're just going to go 999, and that should be enough. Well, okay, he takes, and we're going to go 918. And he had the Kaido too. I really think he should have developed that a little bit sooner. But yeah, these are some interesting games. We've got a weird game. You know, you don't see ST14 Luffy anymore. But yeah, we're gonna mulligan for our Ivankov as usual. I think the cool thing about the black matchup when you're playing the jet pistol is you can hit Jack with leader ability jet pistol. So for a 5-Don play, you can clear their 7-drop, and then you can follow it up with something like Ivankov into, you know, your Duvals and stuff. But we've got the ulti. It gives us a Sanji, but we do not want those cards. We've already got a Red Rock in our hand, and then in this matchup, we're only really worried about Isho. Yeah, so I countered out in the wrong order there. Oh, but I wanted to save for Pudding. And then I draw another Sanji, which is kind of just annoying at this rate. Like, I have too many big drops. And we can't really cycle it to the bottom yet because we wanted to make the Ivankov play. Yeah, so Tudon went to waste last turn, but I didn't want to telegraph my plays, which is why I did that. And then here I could jet pistol the Nico Robin And I'm thinking like, man, I have so many bricks in my hand. I think my first choice probably should have been that Sanji to the bottom. But okay, so we Jet Pistol the Nico Robin, and then we're gonna be able to go 5 with Ivankov. No draw. I think we should have countered out a little more aggressively. We could have gotten some more cycling with this Ivankov. And then he does Jack to remove the pudding, which is just a mistake. He should have removed the Ivankov. But that's okay. We do see another Jet Pistol, so we're going to be able to Jet Pistol the Jack if we wanted. We decide not to. And then we're in Isho range. But he just geckos. And then Brooks the new gate. Okay, and then we want to counter out. Get our hand size down. Yeah, I think our opponent has made a few mistakes, but mostly letting the Ivankov live was just a massive misplay. Yeah, and then now we've got back-to-back Sanjis. I guess maybe that's why you prioritize the Sanji over the Raging Tiger. Sanji double 9-dropping somebody is pretty back-breaking. It's the equivalent of Gecko, you know, so. But for blue. Okay, so this board we can deal with. We've got Newgate, yep. And then what we can do is we can reduce this Gecko's power. Clear it that way. We draw another Newgate, yep. Gonna ship that to the bottom. The early iterations of this deck, I was on like 4 Newgate, 4 7-drop Newgate, 3 of the 9-drop Newgate, 4 Sanji. I might have been on 2 or 3 Rayleighs as well. So yeah, just an unreasonable amount. Have I leader ability'd yet? Wait. Oh, okay, so what we did is we Newgated using the 9-drops Newgate ability to pop Kuzan. But I didn't need to do it that way. Let's just rewind a second. Oh, I wanted to get the Brook off the board. Okay. Okay, so then he's gonna crash into my little Newgate and then E-show us, which I spoiled a little bit there, but and then he's gonna try and control board. But we're just going to kill him. Yeah, we could have cleared his board, I think, except the E-show. But yeah, we decide to go for game and we get there. He has a lot of bricks. And then, okay, buckle in because this is a long game against Bonney. But Bonnie's a very relevant deck in this meta. And yeah, it's definitely a matchup you're going to want to try and figure out. Not saying I have it down, but yeah. Out of those 3 cards, definitely feel like I should bottom that and dig for Ivankov. Ivankov is our little value engine in this deck, on top of, you know, leader ability. So we just want to take advantage of that, and then we grab Newgate and bottom the rest. The 9-drop Newgate. Man, I'm gonna have to specify that every time. Also holding on to pudding, the 4-drop pudding. Man, there's 2 puddings in this deck too. Is pretty important. Green sometimes likes to work up their hand size. Searchers kind of let them do that. So yeah, but here we're just gonna have to take out the searcher.
Yeah.
Man, I do not like background music with songs, with like lyrics, so hopefully I didn't miss any of that. Anyways, so this was a card that I actually started testing with, is this 5-drop blocker Ace. Because you play so many bricks, I noticed that like sometimes you'd end up with these really bricky hands, and Ace is gonna help you cycle those out. Granted, the bricky hands, that's like all your power, so it's like you don't want to get rid of too much of it, but you also need to survive. So pros and cons. So I could 2k 1k here. And I actually think it might have been worth it. Let's see. I'd probably 2k 2k and hold on to pudding. I let it go. I don't like that. Because next turn we absolutely have to minus the... Oh, Gravity Blade's good. Yeah, I can see Gravity Blade here, or I drop the 7 cost new gate, pop a Rouge, and leave the baby. I actually kind of think Gravity Blade might have made sense. Just get the 2 bodies off the board. I mean, it's still looking like there's going to be a Gravity Blade play coming up anyways, but I think there it might have made some sense. I think Newgate definitely developing the body feels really good. Also, like, note, I am on Gravity Blade. I think the card is just so good into so many matchups in the meta, especially with Sabo being still kind of prevalent. And then Dofi, removing 2 bodies is huge. Can be very swingy card. So, anyways, we Sanji Newgate. Newgate's gonna keep us very healthy. And then if he does decide to rest down, the ulti, then the baby doesn't stay on the board. Yeah, so we have to deal with the Searcher. We can't let him have card advantage. Although he is in range of like a juicy pudding, but we used it to counter out, or we put it to the bottom, so not relevant anymore. He Shankses the Newgate. And then I could definitely see myself red rocking this Shanks. And then like developing Ivankov. Oh, I wish I would have put the pudding on top then if I was gonna Ivankov. Oh, I luck out into a Duval. Or did I put the Duval on top? Ah, okay. I might have missed that. Let me know. I don't want to rewind. This game is way too long. Yeah, but he has plenty of cards in hand. He drops Dofi. Thing is like, I'm still not in a bad spot. I've got Sanji Dragon. Oh my gosh, what did I just do there? Oh my gosh, what did I just do? Why did I do that? Okay, complete blunder. I cannot believe I did that. Okay, so first off, we got bailed out. Our opponent gave us a counter. So what I should have done there, and I'm sure you know this, but I should have played Sanji into Dragon. Then Dragon put Tudon on Ivankov. Swing with Ivankov. Oh, he had one Dawn up though to rest the dragon. So I was playing around that. So what I should have done is put a Dawn on Ivankov, swing for 5. He would have given me the counter. I feel like that was a mercy counter. Dude, I almost conceded right there, like immediately. He goes 10 into 9, not the right number. Oh, but he just has another Dofi. And then like these 2 gravity blades are looking pretty bad right now. Yeah, I can just like load everything onto Ivankov. Put it on Ivankov, please. Everything on Ivankov and swing. Yeah. And then, does he block? Counter out? Not sure. Either way, we're not in the worst position. We still have 3 life and plenty of counter. Alright, not plenty, but a lot. Oh my gosh, he counters out, going all the way down to 5 cards. I still have a menacing board. The 3rd Dofi would kind of suck. Wow, 13 into 9. That's going down. I think we defend this. Yep. Okay, so I mean, ideally he just plays. Yeah, Basil would have been sick there because. But we're losing so many of our cards. We'll save Ivankov. It's our advantage engine. He drops Resonante. Baby. Baby's gonna get him a search. Very unfortunate. Okay, and Duval's not gonna do it. Probably just bottom deck this pudding. Oh, you know what? I think the best thing we can do here is actually develop the Duval. So we have a blocker, and then Gravity Blade the yeah, those 2. And then we'll swing with Sanji and see what he rests down. Because he might rest down the Ivankov to deny the draw, or he might rest the Marco to deny swinging. Ooh. So I go 11. Forcing him to give us 2 cards, maybe 3. Okay, he rests down Leader. So he doesn't want me to go face, probably. And then I pick up a red rock. So this board is pretty much cleared. The only thing I'm afraid of is maybe Hody. Kid is scary. But he just continues to develop blockers, which I can live with. Yep, so now we've got a sick red rock into Ivankov play. Just gonna swing 6. Either gives us counter or his blocker, or goes to 0. Either way, I'm chilling. Gives us counter. Red rock this Dofi. Get our Duval. And then we'll pick up a 2k counter next turn. And then we can just drop Sanji. Okay, so he Hodies himself down to 0. Clears my board. And blockers up. That's okay though, we're gonna drop 2 massive bodies this turn. And then leader ability, probably bottom deck this Duval. Minus the Hody, we can swing into Hody, or we can swing life. Either way, he's gotta give us something. Probably should have gone life. But, yeah. Yeah, 100% of the time you go life there. Okay, so he Hodies again. But we're not like... He can't clear my board. I also just have counter if he swings into it. So he's going to do 10 and 9. Which, yeah, it's not going to work. And that's just going to be game. Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't play that Dofi, though. Holy cow. Man. Yeah. That was a crazy game. Very fun. But let's go ahead and take a look at the deck. So, I called this Big Marco, and this is like the final iteration that I ended up on. And even here, I've been thinking about tweaking it around. I have a theory that maybe you don't need this many Sanji. But yeah, so we're on 4 Otama, 2 Newgate, 2 Dragon, 2 Relay, 2 Jinbei, because this is a 2k counter that you can cheat out with Ivankov, and the minus power is relevant, so it's not the worst thing to cheat out. Ideally, you cheat out one of your other 2-drops, but this was just get us to 10 2ks so that we stay alive, but also still have utility with Ivankov. And we're on 4 Newgate, 4 Doflamingo blocker. Maybe this could be trimmed down to, 3. Yeah, and then like ulti could even come down. 2 Pudding. I think this card's just so good in blue. It really punishes and forces opponents to play in a certain way, which you can take advantage of. 4 Sanji. I do think, like, for me, it feels like it has to be a 4 of, because like cheating out 2 bodies is just so oppressive. Like, it wins games. And like cheating out Newgates feels just as good. It doesn't have to be 9-cost Newgate. It can be the 7-cost one, and it still feels insane. 3 of this ace, like I said, you have a lot of bricks, which is why we're on the 0-cost event. Potentially want more of these, but yeah, you need to cycle into playable hands, so your leader ability and your other cards help you do that. For Ivankov, this is our advantage engine. It really is good into like Doflamingo matchups. It helps you control board with leader ability and gets you cards back from countering out aggressively. 4 of the Pudding and 4 Duval. Pudding for the Ivankov value. I will say in the Doflamingo matchup, you just want to leave Pudding on board sometimes. So don't forget that you can just leave this and pick it up later. You can even just play it proactively to get your hand size down so you don't lose to Pudding. 4 Duval. This card's great. 2 of the 0-cost event. 2 Red Rock and 2 Gravity Blade. I think Red Rock, it feels so good. It just helps you not lose to like some of the other big bodies in the format, because you're playing really proactive ones, but they're not like game breaking cards. And then 2 Gravity Blade, because I think it just feels so good. BY Luffy is really relevant. You saw it was good in Bonney. It can be relevant into Doflamingo. And then, yeah, it's just a great value card. So that's what this deck is all about. Good value. Anyways, this has been a long video. If you made it to the end, thank you. I really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you next time. Peace.